Hi, my name is Ivory Ferriera and I am an apparel technical designer. I became a designer because my family is pretty much in my family. My grandfather was an amateur photographer, my grandmother was an amateur model, and my mother actually went to FIT and the Parsons for fashion illustration. So I grew up in New York in fashion, and so it was always ingrained in me to be a fashion designer when I grew up. I started my fashion experience at the High School of Fashion Industries in Manhattan, and then I moved down to Virginia where I went to Tech for high school, vocational school for fashion design. Afterwards, I went to Virginia Commonwealth University and got my bachelor's in fine arts with a concentration in fashion design. So let's see, first out of college, I went to New York and I was with a licensing company named Rhodes Academy that did faded Lloyd t-shirts for Walmart for the men's department. After that, I came back to Virginia and I started working with RP55, which is the company that I work for now. I left here after 2 years and went to New York, and I worked for 2 years for Ralph Lauren doing dresses until I came back to Virginia and started working for RP55 again. So RP55 is an umbrella company that has brands such as Aku, Hustle Gang, BBC, and Ice Cream underneath their umbrella. So at RP55, what I do as a technical designer is a head designer, like you would see in a movie or something, draws the sketch and then they pass it off to somebody like me. And what I do is I would draw that design on the computer and then create what's called a tech pack, which is instructions for the factory to make the garment. We send that out, and then the factory will send me back a sample called a prototype. And with that prototype, we'll go over it to see if the designer likes it, see if they like the fit, the fabrics, the colors, and then we'll give comments to the factory. Once we get everything approved, then it goes into bulk. We approve bulk, and then it goes to the store, which is where everybody will see it and buy it, hopefully. I encounter all kinds of weird problems from day to day. We've had a garment where a sleeve came in. One sleeve was longer than the other sleeve, which is a real thing. You would think that would just happen on TV, but no, that happens. They come in the wrong color, wrong fabric, some of the art is missing, and the biggest issue is not that it's a prototype, but sometimes it's bulk production is like this. We find out when it's about to ship to the store that, oh no, one sleeve is longer. So that could be a big challenge when we're trying to ship things out. So when I was in college, we focused mostly on the construction of a garment. So as a technical designer, that is a huge benefit to my job because that is what I'm supposed to do, focus on the construction. So learning all of those key points about sewing, pattern making, doing specs and measurements really help with the day-to-day of figuring out if a garment is constructed properly to what the designer wanted. One high pressure moment that comes to mind in my career was, it was a dress in production that we received that was blue floral, see-through, and the lining underneath was supposed to be blue. But when we received it for bulk, it was red. And it was commotion throughout the whole office. Everybody checking every database to see what happened, and you know, it looked like for a second everything was pointing to me, but you know, we finally got it situated, and somebody did make a mistake. It wasn't me, but for at least a good 8 hours, I was sweating bullets. Like, did I really tell the factory to make this red when it was supposed to be blue? So you gotta really pay attention in this position because those types of problems are actually, they cost the company a lot of money when you have those type of problems happen. So you got to really pay attention and make sure you don't do things like that. It becomes very stressful. oh my goodness, I've met so many people in this industry, so many. I've met mostly like rappers, and I've met Russell Simmons twice. I think my coolest memory, and I didn't officially meet him, but in New York going to work, I was in the elevator quietly smiling to myself. I was in the elevator with Tim Gunn, and I just kind of was like, oh my goodness, it's Tim Gunn from Project Runway. And so, that was cool. I think my fondest memory, honestly, was the first day that I had started working at Ralph Lauren. There's a lot of fashion companies, and a lot more than people realize, because a lot of them are smaller companies. So all companies are not run the same, but when you get to a fashion house, it really is like you see on TV. It's all the glitz and the glamour, and walking into there the first day, I just felt like I had achieved my dream. And that was probably one of my fondest memories. Also, I got to be on VH1, so that was cool. So moving forward, I really want to, so once you've been in any industry, no matter what it is that you do, once you've been in any industry, as you've been in there for a long time, I think I am 17 years in this industry right now. And you get to a certain point where some of the things that you learned become obsolete. So my goal going forward is to re-educate myself on some of the newer technologies, on some of the things that I'm a little weak at, and being able to show people coming into the industry behind me how to do those things so that they are successful in their roles in the industry. So I really just want to brush up on my skills, gain new skills, and help others brush up on their skills as well. One of the secrets of the fashion industry that a lot of people don't talk about is it's actually kind of difficult to break into this industry as a designer for another brand. Not for your own brand, but as another brand without a college degree. It's actually pretty difficult. If you go and you look on Indeed or any job websites, you will see that the bare minimum they're looking for is a bachelor's degree. And so people have done it and people have become successful, but it is not the majority of people. When you go and try to get a job at a Donna Karan or Ralph Lauren, they're looking for a degree. And I don't think a lot of people outside of the fashion industry know that. I think a lot of people think that they've got some education, or they are, started their own brand or have their own line, and kind of their talent will get them in. But that's more than likely not the case. There's a lot of people that I know who have gone on to be successes who haven't gotten that education, but they had to do it their own way. They were not able to break into the industry the way that I did by working for someone else. So go get your degree or start your own line.